Let's read the problem below, then explore different ways to write an expression to solve the problem. A group of rectangular community gardens is being built on an empty city block. The length of each garden will be 90 feet, but the widths of the gardens will vary. Let G stands for the width of a garden. Think about different ways to find the perimeter of each garden, then write an expression to represent each different way. If you can do that, that'd be great. Let's picture it. You can think about the perimeter of the rectangle as the sum of its sides. So you can think about walking around the rectangle. The sum of its sides equals, ready? You got the 90 feet, right? The length. And then you got the G for the width, 90 and G. So think about walking, doing this impression of a person walking around the garden. Okay? And that's why they have the 90 plus G plus 90 plus G. You can think about the perimeter of the rectangle as the sum of twice its length and twice its width. If you see the perimeter as the sum of two equal lengths and two equal widths, you can multiply the lengths by 2 and the widths by 2, and then add the products right here. So we have the 290, 90 and 90, so just multiply by 2. And then you have the plus the G and G, and multiply them by 2. Now let's connect it all. You will write the perimeter in a third way and show that all the expressions are equivalent. Look at the diagrams on the previous page. Find the length of the two adjacent sides. Write an expression for the sum of the two adjacent sides. Question 3. The other pair of adjacent sides has the same sum. Explain how you could think of the perimeter of the rectangular garden as a product of the sum of the two sides. If you're not sure what this says, understand what the word product means and sum. Question 4. Write an expression for the perimeter of the rectangular garden as a product of the sum of two sides. Question 5. Now use all three ways to show how to find the perimeter of a rectangular garden that is 16 feet long and 5 feet wide. Does it matter which expression you use to find the perimeter? Explain. So I would pause this video and I would answer these 5 questions, and then once you've got them, unpause, and then you would see the answers. We will go through them step by step. Let's look at question 2. Hopefully you got the 90 plus G or G plus 90. And we went over that. So again, it says write an expression for the sum. Sum means the answer to an addition problem of the two adjacent sides. So adjacent means next to each other. So it's 90 plus G or G plus 90. Again, 90 plus G. Okay? Or you can say, take that back for a sec, the G plus 90, right? Or from the other angles too, from the other sides. Question 3. Since the two sums are the same, I can multiply the sum by 2. Common sense. We went over that already. If you don't remember, go back in the video. Question 4. Write an expression for the perimeter of the rectangular garden as a product of the sum of the two sides. So if you look at it, you get the 90 plus G, right, times 2. So again, 90 plus G plus the G, and then times 2, because they also exist on this side. Or you can say the G plus 90, and then times 2, because they're actually on this side as well. Question 5. Now use all three ways to find the perimeter of a rectangular garden that is 16 feet long and 5 feet wide. So think about that. First way, you can say 16 plus 5 plus 16 plus 5, like walking around the whole rectangular garden. Hopefully you drew this, okay? If you didn't, we will draw this for you. So here it is, 16 feet. So So always important to write the units. And you got the 5 feet here. 5 feet. Okay. And again, if you walk around, 16 plus 5 plus 16, right? This would be 16 and plus 5. Okay, so that's one way of writing it. The second way, you would do 2 times 16, because there's 2 16s, right? So you do the 2 times 16 plus the 2 times 5. There's 2 5s, right? 5 feet. And the third way, you would just do the 16 plus 5 times 2. Okay? Or the 5 plus 16 times 2. Question 6. Does it matter which expression you use to find the perimeter? And explain. And obviously the answer is no. It doesn't matter. The expressions are all equivalent, so I can choose any of them. In each case, the result will be 42 feet. And I should, if I were you, I would do the math, unless you already did that. Now let's try it. Use what you just learned to solve these problems. Show your work on a separate sheet of paper and then attach it to this, or you can do it on this. Question 7. Students in Jay's school plant vegetables in one of the rectangular gardens with length of 90 feet and width 7.5 feet. Use each of the expressions above to find the garden's perimeter. Show that all 3 expressions produce the same measurement. So just like what we did, write the following expressions in 2 different ways for question 8. It says a plus b times a half. Just gave you a huge clue. So pause this video, solve these 2 questions. Once you're done, unpause so you can check your answers. Here's the first way of finding the answer. You do the 90 plus 7.5 plus 90 plus 7.5. When you add them all up, you get 125. Hopefully you guys will drawing out the rectangle, as I will do right now here, so you guys can see that. Okay, so we'll do our best here. It's not drawn to scale, but we will do our best here. Here's the 90 feet. Okay, of length, and 7.5 feet wide. And then we would add them. 90 plus 7.5 plus 90 plus 7.5, and we get 195. Second way, it's 2 times 90, because there's 2 of them, plus the 7.5 times 2, or 2 times 7.5, as you can see. When you do the math, 2 times 90 is 180, 7.5 times 2 is 15, 180 plus 15 is 195. And the last one, third way, 90 plus 7.5 times 2, because there's 2 of them of each, equals 97.5, right? 90 plus 7.5 is 97.5 times 2 is 195. So the perimeter for question 7 is 195 feet. Hopefully you did all 3 ways the way they showed it. Question 8, 2 different ways. There they are. One of them, it's a plus b, right? A plus b, do whatever in parentheses, divided by 2, because it's the same as saying times a half, right? A plus b divided by 2. Let me break that down for you more so you can understand that. Some kids are still struggling with fractions, but you still have a plus b, right? And then it's times a half, which is the same as saying a plus b over 1, right? Times 1 over 2, correct? 1 times a plus b is a plus b. 1 times anything is itself, and then 2 times 1 is 2, so that's why this is the same as that, okay? And then the second way, what they did is they distributed. 1/2 times a is 1/2 a. Notice it's all positive. Positive times positive is positive. And 1/2 times b is 1/2 times b. 1/2 b. There it is.